Good afternoon. My name is Genova Bronson, and today I will discuss the death penalty, the unbalanced scale. Have you ever been accused of something you didn't do? What if you were sentenced to death for a crime you didn't commit? This is Troy Anthony Davis. Troy was executed by the state of Georgia on September 21st, 2011 at 10 p.m. Troy was convicted and sentenced to death row in 1989 for the murder of a white cop. Troy was convicted by witnesses who later changed their testimony. The witnesses stated that they were forced to lie by the police. Regardless of the supporting evidence, Troy Davis was executed by our flawed system. Now I will discuss the views of those who oppose and support the death penalty. In the article, The Ultimate Punishment of Defense, Hag, who supports the death penalty, states, "The death penalty is our hardest punishment. It's irrevocable. It ends the existence of those punished instead of temporarily imprisoning them." Hag believes that the death penalty removes criminals on a permanent basis. He also states, "I believe the death penalty, because of its finality, is more feared than imprisonment and deters some prospective murderers not deterred by the threat of imprisonment." Hag believes the death penalty stops and discourages criminals from committing crime. However, Blackman, who is against the death penalty, states in his essay, Distinguishing Opinion of Harriet Blackman, "The problem is that inevitably, a factual, legal, and moral error give us a system that we know most wrongly kills some defendants. A system that fails to deliver the fair, consistent, and reliable sentences of death required by the Constitution." Unlike Hag, Blackmen have Supreme Court cases to support the inconsistency. In Furman versus Georgia, the court found that the death penalty must be imposed fairly and with reasonable consistent or not at all. However, in Lockett versus Ohio, the Supreme Court found that, to be fair, a capital sentencing scheme must treat each person convicted of a capital offense with that degree of respect due to the uniqueness of the individual. Even though Hag and Blackman is on opposite side of the fence in regards to death penalty, they acknowledge the concern of the distribution and possible misuse of capital punishment. One of the major roles that they are concerned about in the administration of the death penalty is racial discrimination. Hag states murderers of white are thought more likely to be executed than murders of blacks. Black victims then are less fully vindicated than white ones. Blackman states perhaps it should not be surprising that the bias and prejudice that infect society generally would influence the determination of who is sentenced to death. Early in the introduction, I asked if anyone have ever been falsely accused, and if the accusation was punishable by death. The next time you are asked where you stand on the death penalty, think about the finality of our flawed system. Thank you.
Well said.